done with school, released from distance learning. Yay! If you feel like I do, I've been ready for so long to have better weather and a chance to get out of the house, where we have spent so much time social distancing. A few weeks ago, we took our first steps outside into that blessed air and sunshine. But look what we stepped into. Violence, demonstrations, and still the fear of the pandemic. But you know, we can't just go back inside. We will step into the future. We have to. We have no choice. Let's be brave. Let's go. Come, let us worship together. Now we will sing Rise Up, O Flame. In the coming weeks, we will ask families to share a few joys and sorrows with us by email. And we will offer some of those here during Wellspring Wednesday services. This week, I asked families of graduating seniors if they could give us joys and sorrows to share today. From Melissa Emmer and her mom, Dana Kennedy, because COVID-19 crushed Melissa's prom, her 12th grade graduation, music trip, etc., it felt really good to watch her crush a COVID-19 pinata that they had built for the occasion. From Tess Benrud, it is a joy that I am spending less time in stores and spending less money. It is Tess's sorrow that I am scared people are already slipping back to the same old, despite little real change. From Ellie Lynn, it feels like there's true radical change coming regarding social justice. I feel like the environment this time is so much different from past times, which makes me excited, and this is a joy. And a sorrow from Ellie and other Central families, St. Paul School Board Chair Marnie Zhang died from COVID-19, a rising star dedicated to serving her community, so young and only 31 years old. And a joy from Tori Schrake and her family, opening back up and seeing the world with new views, with new eyes, and to be together again, a joy. We hold these thoughts, wishes, and prayers in our embrace, along with many that we hold in our hearts, and many we may say at home. Will you join me now in prayer? Holy One, it is time for us to be brave. Help us feel strength in our hearts and minds. Help us to feel our connections to each other, even though we have been so physically apart for so long. Now is the time for us to look to each other, knowing our love and care for each other is what makes us go. We seek to be brave for each other, to be good to each other. Help us to listen, to act out of concern for each other, to feel the sun and the rain and know that this is the only world we have. We need to be brave. We have work to do. Amen.
Yesterday morning, I grabbed my shoes and sat down on the back deck and slipped them on without really looking, and I paused because something felt different. I realized I had grabbed my dad's shoes and started laughing. This made me remember when my brother and I were young and would put on our parents' shoes and run around the house. We were young enough to be in spirit play, Unity's religious education program for preschoolers and kindergartners. One time, my brother slipped on my dad's shoes and squatted down and grinned, coaxing someone to come chase me. But when no one did, he stood up and he clonked, clonked, clonked his shoes all the way down the hallway, laughing and stumbling the whole way. Children of all ages who are listening today, are you wearing shoes? What kind of shoes are you wearing? Can you wiggle your toes in them? Are they tight or loose? Do they have ties or Velcro or slip on and off? Like I said, I'm wearing my dad's brown lace-up shoes that feel heavy and also too big. Have you ever tried on your siblings' or parents' or friends' shoes? Does it feel awkward or comfortable to be wearing shoes that someone else has worn before you? Sometimes I think it's really fun to wear shoes that are too big for us, even if it makes us stumble. Shoes that have supported the people we love or want to be like can feel comforting and encouraging, even when they don't quite fit right. But I can also recall many times when I've tried to ride a bike that's just too big, or swim across the lake that's just too far, or finish a math problem that is too hard. In these moments of struggle, I long for right-sized shoes. I want the right tools and the right environment and the right leaders and teachers to show me the way. Especially in times of conflict and tension, I want to feel comfortable in my shoes and look to guidance from those who can wear shoes that I can't yet fit. They're just too big. But I also remember that when I was growing a lot as a kid, my parents encouraged me to buy shoes that were a little too big so that I would have room to grow into them. The experiences of suffering, violence, and militarization of the last couple of weeks is horrifically not new at all in history. Still, and for good reason, many of us have experienced and continue to experience changes in our daily routines and regular habits. Change usually feels hard to me, but I also know that change gives us the chance to use our imagination and picture how something could be different or better. Like if we are building a tower and it gets knocked down, sometimes we realize we want to build a different kind of tower, and maybe the tower would even be better. When change in our society, our world happens, we can work to imagine and build a more loving and welcoming world for all. There are also big leadership and staff changes happening at our church, which can feel sad because we will have to say goodbye. And again, like thinking about the next tower we are going to build, change can bring different and new things that help us to grow. Will the staff at Unity be larger or smaller? Will there be new kids to come to the garden and help us work? Will we be asked? What might we be asked to help out with? When there are big changes, many of us have to learn how to lead and follow in new ways, usually without any instructions to tell us how. Do you remember how difficult it was to learn to tie and untie your shoes? To get it not too tight, but not too loose? How does it feel to you to wear shoes that are brand new, that have not been worn in yet? When we think that our shoes are just too big, what do? It makes sense that we might look around and see if there are other shoes that we can wear, but sometimes there aren't any, and we still have to put something on our feet to protect our bare feet. We realize that these are the only shoes we have, so we can wiggle our toes, we can feel the weight of our shoes. We can notice how they tighten and open. We can wonder about all of the people who have worn these shoes before us and how they might be feeling or have been feeling. We can lift a foot and move forward. We can, like my brother, laugh at ourselves when we stumble and go clonk, clonk, clonk. And when big changes happen, we can talk to people that we trust about it. Kids, what questions about these recent changes have you been asking your parents? Parents, what conversations are you having with your kids and your families? Members, families, in what ways are you already involved and helping? Slowly, in the shoes that we have, we can learn what we can and cannot do. And although we will surely continue to stumble, eventually our feet will grow and our shoes will fit just right.
Join us in singing It's a Gift to Be Simple.
Frustrating to find ourselves with shoes that feel too big. Let us not push our feet to do what we want them to do. Instead, may we listen and learn how we can move well. May we turn to one another, ask the questions that need to be asked, share what needs to be shared. May we open to the blessing of where we are and what is being asked of us right now, following in the footsteps of those who have come before us. May it be so, and amen.